Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Research in Education, with the subtopic Tools of Research. We were discussing about the characteristics of a good research tool. Before going into the tools of research, types of tools, we have to understand a very important topic, that is scaling. Scaling in research. The branch of measurement that involves the construction of an instrument that associates qualitative constructs with quantitative metric units. Now, what is the scaling here? The branch which measures and which includes or involves the construction of an instrument which is associated with qualitative constructs and quantitative metric units. So, both together becomes the scaling, measurement becomes the scaling. Now, it involved out of efforts in psychology and education to measure unmeasurable constructs like authoritarianism, self-esteem. Many are there. These are simple few examples here. Why? Because some unmeasurable constructs are there. We need to measure them. We cannot measure directly like how we take the measurements of height and weight. Some unmeasurable constructs like authoritarianism, we cannot measure it directly. So indirectly we can measure through some tool or scale. Self-esteem also can be measured, but how? Through some scales. Now, scaling in educational research, let's understand a very important topic before we go into the details of tools of research. Now, research tools are the measuring devices already we know. Whatever measuring devices we use in our research, in the methodology of collecting the data and analysis, we have to have some tools. So every measuring device has some kind of graduation depending upon the system of measurement. For example, the FPS or CGS systems, that is measure length in foot or centimeter. Similarly, weight is measured in pounds and grams also. So these are the examples where we measure easily here. These are the systems. The foot rule that measures length is graduated in inches, obviously. There are two major attributes. Each inch is of equal length where it appears on the foot rule. We have seen the foot rule, the scaling measure the scale, where we can see the equal length between each inch, each numerical. Now, two different objects measured as 2 inches, for example, by same foot rule are of same length. Now, just as FPS or CGS provides the basis for scaling for physical measurement, it is necessary to provide certain form of scaling for mental measurement. Now, measurement of variables like intelligence, achievement, demographic, attributes, etc. So we cannot measure them directly. So we need some help, like how we measure the physical attributes. We cannot measure all these variables like intelligence, achievement, demography or attributes, etc. Now, 4 types of scaling are used in measurement. These are nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Let's quickly understand these 4. First, nominal scale. It is the most elementary form of the scale. As indicated by the name itself, it is only nominal. This form of scale is largely used to classify people or object in certain categories like male or female, rural or urban, dark or light, tall or short, etc. In other words, it labels object of measurement. So, nominal itself tells us into certain categories, male or female, rural, urban, girl, boy, like that. Now, in the context of research, it is concerned with the frequency of occurrence in the various categories. For example, in a class or in a counseling session, how many are male or how many are female students, or how many have read the learning material, or how many have not read the material. So to find out all these things, we have to use the nominal scale here. Now next one is ordinal scale. This is the second level of scale which is more sophisticated than the nominal scale, though remains in one of the cruder forms. Like wherever the same sample of the research is arranged in ascending or descending order on the basis of data on a variable, we are using the ordinal scale, like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on any scale. If we are measuring, that becomes the ordinal scale. When the students are ranked in a class on the basis of their achievement, we are using ordinal scale. For example, 10th rank in class of 50 students is better B than 11th rank but lesser than the 9th rank. Likewise, we take ordinal scale. However, despite the ranking, it does not indicate the difference between the 9th and 10th rank is equal to the difference between the 11th and 12th. In other words, the difference between the ranks are either unknown or unequal. The only information chat is derived from this case is the relative position of the subject within the sampled population on a variable. So the next one is interval scale. As the name indicates, the scale that intervals at different points of graduation is called interval scale. This is also called equally appearing interval scale. The most common use of interval scale is the achievement test. When the test contains 100 as full marks, it implies 0 as the beginning. So hence 0 to 100 or 101 point scale, where it is graded by one score at a time. This form of scale is extensively used in large majority of psychological variables like interests, attitudes, aptitudes, etc. As mentioned earlier, it is also called equally appearing intervals. Like we can take 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, like that, equal intervals. There is a significant implication of the word appearing. Apparently, the difference between 88 and 90. Since both have a scale difference of 2 points, however, practical experience will indicate that moving from 28 to 30 score points is far easier than moving from 88 to 90. In other words, despite the apparent difference 5 or 2, the actual difference between 88 to 90 is much larger than the difference 28 and 30. Although it is by far the most sophisticated scale in social research, it has the limitation of being inexact compared to the ratio scale used in the physical measurement. Now, lastly, ratio scale, as mentioned above, is primarily used in physical measurement. It is exact and accurate. It is very similar to interval scale, except that it has an absolute 0. For example, if a length is indicated by 0 centimeter, it means non-existence, whereas a score of 0 in mathematics does not indicate the absence of mathematical knowledge. So the other major feature of ratio scale is the ratio itself. It implies that in a 100 centimeter or 1 meter long rod, distance between the 28th and 30 centimeter is exactly equal to the distance between the 80th and 90th centimeter of the rod. In this case, the intervals in the scale are not apparent but real. However, ratio scale has very little, if at all, application in social research in general and educational research in particular. However, the basic philosophy of ratio scale is the basis of the interval scale that is extensively used in educational research. So let's wind up all these scales with an example. If we are taking any achievement, number of assigned to runners. For example, we are taking some runners here. What is the nominal here? Number assigned to the runners. So 7, 8, 3, whatever assigning number, that will become the nominal. Then ordinal, rank order of winners. Maybe first, second, third. The positions will become the ordinal. Then interval, performance rating on a 0 to 10 scale. Maybe the first person who has won, that may be 9.6 scale. The second place will be 9.1. Then the third place 8.2. That is, out of 0 to 10 we have given these scale ranking scale. Next, the fourth one, that is ratio, time to finish in seconds. That is, the first who has got the first place might have completed in 13.4, and the lowest, and the second position 14.1, and the third position 15.2. That is the ratio. So these are the things. Let's conclude this topic here. As mentioned above, there are 4 types of scales: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. The nominal scale and the ratio scale are the crude end and the sophisticated end of the continuum. The most extensively used scaling technique in educational research is interval scale. Obviously, majorly we use the interval scale only. The frequencies are distributed. Now, however, choice of scaling technique depend upon the nature of the variable. Obviously, which variable you are choosing, upon that only we can decide which scale we have to apply. So we come to the end of this session. In the next class, we will detailedly discuss about the tools of research. Until then, if you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.